Kia ora, Anna, welcome back. For our latest Newsmakers Revisited story, it's a Kiwi who slid onto our screens and into our hearts in 1989. Steve Parr was the host of the game show Sale of the Century, a huge ratings winner and appointment TV viewing in its day. He spoke to Melissa Stokes about the fun he had, the friends he made, and the fallout of the show ending.
Here's the star of the show,
Steve Parr knows how to make an entrance. But he wasn't always such a showman.
Thank you, and welcome to you on a Friday evening.
There was something missing at the front. We didn't quite know what it was. It didn't have the the oomph. Then we saw Tony Barber, who did the Australian version, the way that he sort of skipped in. And I thought, oh, I don't want to do that, so I'm going to slide in just for the hell of it. And as it happened, I did it. And I heard a little round of applause. I thought, yep, that's worked. And so it stuck from then on.
Tonight on New Zealand's biggest bargain sale.
Steve ruled TV when TV ruled.
What is the usual beverage produced in a percolator? Richard?
Coffee.
Yes.
When a basketball jacket and a silk scarf was a prize worth having.
These individually hand-painted fashion accessories.
And when big lapels and big hair made stars.
Welcome to the rest of New Zealand.
Take me back, because how did you get the job?
Went down to Wellington, did the audition, came home again and didn't hear anything back from them until a few days before Christmas, when I got a phone call from the Sale of the Century team saying, Steve, we've got a problem. We've lost your audition tape. We'd really like you to come back. Flew down again, walked into the hotel room, and Tony, the executive producer, said, oh, by the way, Steve, nice to see you. This is Jude Kirk. She's your co-host on Sale of the Century.
So it was all a ruse.
Our first contestant is a flower grower whose main ambition is to retire young and not get pot-bellied. From Levin, please welcome Jared Martin.
It was an instant hit.
We had 1.3 million people watching every night, which for a country of 3 million was, absolutely stunning. Starting with Wheel of Fortune, followed by The News, followed by Paul Holmes, followed by Sale of the Century. That blockbuster 2 hours was, you could not compete against it.
OK, everybody, $20 each. That much you get for nothing, the rest you are going to have to work for.
I probably got more of a thrill than a lot of the contestants. They were in a bit of a state of shock, but, I felt really good. I felt like Father Christmas.
31,645.
The show was fun, energetic. Steve's slick entrance inspired a band and a blooper.
There was one show where I just overcooked it and went straight past the podium and ended brass over oboe on camera 4 over beside me. But they kept that in, so it's still there.
Good evening.
But for this radio veteran, the switch to the goggle box had pros and cons.
It does make it very difficult to go out and walk down the street and go after the supermarkets and things. I'll admit that.
It's just a weird experience. Your privacy's gone out the window. So much so, speaking of windows, we had people, once they knew where we lived, which wasn't hard to find, Tauranga not that big a place, coming down the driveway and peering in through the windows.
You're kidding.
It didn't happen that often, just happened a few times, but it was enough for us to start protecting our privacy a lot more. Having said that, it was one of the joys of doing Sale was being recognised, because I've been on radio, right? Interesting walking down the street and people would just say, g'day.
The show ran for 4 years on TVNZ, more than 1,000 episodes. When it ended in 1993, Steve, by his own admission, didn't take it well.
You're sad.
You feel sad. I'm going to crack up soon.
I was gutted. You've also got to realise, and in hindsight, I had an ego the size of a horse. But anybody that has a big ego, they're also very fragile. And it cut me to the bone.
Yeah, did it feel like it took you a wee bit to get over that?
It took years. Seriously, it took years to get over it.
Well, you were the man, the man on the telly.
I was a right prick, to be honest, for the next 3 years, trying to get back into radio and doing stupid things, just totally irresponsible things, which meant that I didn't hang on to the radio jobs very long. Totally stuffed it up. I was drinking on air and, that's one of the reasons I got out of the television and radio industry almost completely. I felt that I'd not only let the public down with my performances on radio, but I'd let myself down quite a lot. So going to Australia with a new start was the best thing to do.
But when you look back on that time, how, I guess, would you sum it up? As you said, it was a huge show.
The fondest memories I've got of Sale are all people related. And Jude, number one, she was just an absolute joy to work with.
This is really ridiculous.
Sale of the Century, once it got going, was always number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 in the ratings each week.
A brief biographical note at the time of death is a what, beginning with O. Chris?
Obituary.
And it was the most remarkable time of my life and time in television New Zealand history.